hearing these words, you're probably watching the replay. Thank you for watching the replay. Shout out to the replay gang, gang, gang. Um, as always, this live stream may or may not be for you, but consider this self-fulfilling prophecy: the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, it really all depends on you as far as that goes. Um, people have things. Sometimes it's negative self-talk, negative positive talk. I mean, negative positive talk. Self-positive talk. Self-negative talk. Depending on who you are. Depending on, I guess what you're looking for and whatnot. I just say sometimes, people's fate are determined by, the things that they speak, the people that they're around, the thoughts that they take in, the things that they do, the habits. It's real. It's real. It's real in the field. And I encourage people to be wary. Be wary of not be wary, but be mindful. Of self-fulfilling prophecy. It can definitely, take you many different places. So to speak. You it's a situation where you just really, you speak things into existence. That's just kind of what it is. That's why I thought about it. I was waiting to talk about this subject, for a while. It's kind of interesting talking about it late night. I'm here though. It's what it is. Let's go into it by definition. The self-fulfilling prophecy. Fulfilling prophecy. I'm here. I am here. Uh, 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 a self-fulfilling prophecy is a prediction that directly or indirectly causes itself to become true by the terms or prophecy itself due to positive feedback between belief and behavior. And it is positive at times, depending on who you are. You can make things, be spoken into existence. Thank you for the one person coming through, or you can speak the negative side of it. I guess it all really depends on who you are as an individual, whether or not you believe in yourself, whether you don't believe in yourself. So like I said, I'll go both ways with the self-fulfilling prophecy. It could be something as simple as, you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to get yourself, to learn a new language, or manage your money better, or be the best spouse that you could be, or, like I said, not cheat on your diet, whatever it may be. As far as, it's the saying as it goes, if you speak it, you believe it, therefore it is. It changes your behavior, into things. Iron Firehouse, I appreciate you for coming through to this live stream. Welcome to the late shift. I forgot to say that too. Welcome to the late shift live stream with yours truly, Mel Mel. Yes, I am here for another installment, live stream number 4, late shift number 4. You know, this is just something, like I said, that was just on my mind, something I wanted to speak about. I don't know if you folks have any thoughts about, the self fulfilling prophecy, and I was just reading that self fulfilling prophecy. A self fulfilling prophecy, just having to smoke before bed. I didn't even know you smoked, but it would make sense. Would be your name be an Iron Firehouse, But yeah, I'm speaking of the self fulfilling prophecy. A self fulfilling prophecy is a prediction that directly or indirectly causes itself to become true by the very terms of the prophecy itself due to positive feedback, belief, and behavior. So that's just what that is, and that's just how it goes. I'm just talking about that right quick. So I'm kind of there. I'm kind of there with it. And it's they say it's false, but I mean it's like you speak things into existence. You can make things happen. It's really up to you. You know, I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in the things that you're doing, then that can become true. If you do believe in it and you are realistic with it and you are trying to make things happen, and so much with the self fulfilling prophecy is about changing the behavior, be it positive or negative and whatnot. It could be false because it's something that hasn't come true yet, but it doesn't mean that it's false in the terms of it will be, I mean, and so many times I see people going down a negative, path with it, because like I said, you may just be discouraged, you may be taken aback by how life may come at you, and different things happen. So, folks take a step back and, they take a moment to say, hey, maybe this is not so much for me. Maybe this is not where I want to go, with this particular thing. I mean, you can change fortunes, you can change directions. I took the self-fulfilling prophecy in psychology. It is psychology. Yes, it is. It is psychology. I mean, if you want to say a little bit more about that, Iron Firehouse, then I'll be willing to hear some more about that in the chat. But a lot of people don't realize how deeply associated that is in society with our thoughts, with our way of being, with our habits, with just our very being, with how we do particular things in society. Like I said, your thoughts matter. Your habits matter. Some people have said, you are your thoughts. You can, move in a particular way and say, hey, this is what it is. As I say, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, as it has been written. Yes, especially on developing children. Yes, I mean, and speaking of children, I mean, you want to be careful with that. Allowing children, what you allow them to believe, or what you allow, someone else to speak into your child's life, your family members and whatnot. Especially if they're developing at younger ages and stuff like that, not understanding the world and the way psychologically, one can be affected, and how you take on somebody else's habit, be it a positive or negative. It can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. It can become something that is just taken on as a psychology, as a psychological trait, or a philosophical way of thinking. And it can become something that can affect you negatively or positively. I guess it's just about understanding it. And yeah, teachers can be damaging too. Iron Firehouse. Is this something where you just say to yourself, hey, look at the influences, and gather yourself, not to try to make it too serious, but at the same time, know who's speaking into your life. Know who's taking you, round and about either way, whichever way it may be. Just try to, pay attention, to what's going on. So I look at it that way. It's one of those things. I don't know. I don't know. It's just I see people go through things, man, and I see people kind of take themselves out of situations. I mean, it's important to fight the negative thoughts, and not to be too confident even in the positive thoughts, because sometimes sometimes people call it the power of positive thinking, and sometimes the power of positive thinking just doesn't work alone. It's like if I think it and I twirl my hips around, or my shoes click my heels together, 3 times, then say there's no place like home, then maybe I'll be where I want to be, and it's not always the case. Sometimes you have to really put in the work, or it's luck, or blessings, or chance, happenstance, circumstance leads you to a particular situation. Things line up, in a certain way where now this is just your time. It was just your moment. But some people take that moment and they seize it. Other folks don't. Or people take that moment to just tear themselves down. Especially like if you fall short of something and you fail at it. People are quick to say, okay, well, I'll never be anything, or I'll never overcome this situation. And if you start to believe that, then you start to form different habits, and that'll become the case. It's easier for them to just label kids that seem a little more difficult than to take them to really look at what's going on. Yes, when it comes to kids, definitely that's the case. I at Firehouse, instead of looking and seeing what a person is going through, maybe they had a background, where things were difficult, family life, or there was some substance abuse issues, or molestation, whatever, anything could have happened. So you find yourself, saying, hey, why put more mental blocks on the kid, or why put more obstacles in the person's way? Sometimes the hardest obstacles are the ones that we put on ourselves, but because of the influence of other people around us. You've heard this stuff before. When people tell their kids you ain't nothing and you ain't never gonna be nothing. Maybe not in those words, but more colorful language. So you find yourself in a point where, if you're not careful, you can start to believe that stuff. You can definitely get caught up in, listening to the negative self-talk that people are telling you. And then on the other end, even when it seems positive, you can get so prideful and boast it up that you believe the hype. You don't want to believe the hype about yourself. Pride cometh before the fall, as it is written. And it's challenging, because on both sides you're trying to be even kill. You don't want to overextend yourself. You don't want to make it into a situation where you're just being overly confident about what it is that you can do. But it does help. It does help to be positive. It does help to be confident in yourself. It does help to speak positive things into existence. Call things as they are, even though they're not. not in those words, paraphrasing it. So it's kind of like, you say to yourself, if you have things that you want to accomplish, why not go after it? I work with this kid, with kids labeled behavioral problems. I felt the teachers had the behavioral problems. Yeah, that could have been the case. Sometimes people, feel what they don't understand, and they'll put stigmatisms on you, tell you, hey, you're not working out, because you have behavior issues. And then those behavior issues, create learning disabilities because you're so busy dealing with the behavior issue side of the problem that you're not actually looking at, the child and what's going on. Yeah, you got to be realistic too. Yeah, no, it's like that IFI house. It's about being realistic, but sometimes people just, lost in their own thoughts, or lost in preconceived notions or, prejudices, judgments about folks. People use people, judge people all the time. People toss folks away like they're nothing. Like you say, "Oh, okay, you behaved a certain way, or I see a certain thing." For the most part, that's crazy. Hold on, I gotta share this right quick. You know, I gotta share this live stream, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Here I am again. Yeah, nah, but you gotta be realistic too. I am Firehouse, and sometimes people just not being realistic, and sometimes life cuts you off at the knees. Yeah, it can cut you off at the knees, but the important thing about even being cut off at the knees is not staying down there. Sometimes we can believe, the negativity, just like we can believe the hype and overly, boost ourselves up and be prideful about situations. Folks can also too believe the negativity, and the drama and the obstacles put in the way. If somebody tells you you'll never be anything and you'll never amount to nothing, it's what it is as long as you don't pay attention to it. I know myself, I've been there, where you have to be careful, because sometimes you'll start to believe the negative things that people tell you, and you'll start to take on those negative habits, and you'll make it a part of your life, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then you don't even remember where the influence came from. It could be somebody that was telling you maybe you're fat, you're tired, you're useless, or you'll never be anything, or you used to be somebody, you're washed up, or you're not as smart as you think you are, you don't look as good as you think you do, or maybe you come from a poor background and you'll never have any money. Whatever people say a whole bunch of negative things. They try to get you to believe a whole host of different things, and it's important to be even killed. It's important to understand your worth and your value. I've said these things many times before. Yeah, IFI house. It is like that. It's important to know who you are. It's like they said. I was born in the morning. But I wasn't born this morning. I mean, know your worth, know your value. Know where you come from. What's going on, Boomer Rock? Appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for showing the love. I appreciate that. Shout out to Boomer Rock. Shout out to Iron Firehouse. All those two lurking in the scenes. Shout out to the replay gang. I know you're gonna watch this later on, at least a few minutes, a minute or so. Shout out to the people out there live streaming right now, people that are live stream later, people that are live streaming throughout the week. Much success to you. Whatever it may be. I know a couple of people have done live streams. I think Cab 7 did a live stream earlier on, so shout out to that. There's a lot of other folks doing live streams and stuff like that. Keep doing your thing. And then there's Caesar. I haven't seen you in a little bit, Caesar, but thank you for coming through. Just talking about the self-fulfilling prophecy. Just the things that people believe. That people begin to put into action through habits, thoughts, psychology in their mind about what they will and won't do. Horse, mill, not house. Mill, and no. Did I say horse? I didn't even know that, Caesar. But what's up, man? I don't know. It's horse, no, not house. Yeah, I don't know if I said horse. Sorry about that. I'm somewhere else. I'm reading the chat. I'm somewhere else. I don't know if I said horse. I have to actually go back to the replay myself. Forgive me. Thank you for the 6 people that are here. Right now. I don't know if you have any thoughts. Mr. Fire. We call him Mr. Fire. That's funny. I don't know if you have any thoughts on the self fulfilling prophecy. Be it positive or negative. I don't know if you have any, comments or criticisms, any questions that you may want to share. I mean, it's something that people go through. It's something where it be positive self talk, negative self talk, things that have affected you in different ways and stuff like that. Like number three, I appreciate like number three. From one to three, whether I got no likes, whether I got a few likes, a little bit of likes, I like it all. I appreciate you folks for coming through. That's what's the most important part. The most important part is that you watch. The most important part is that I, come through and be proactive about coming through with the live stream. Hopefully, I establish stimulating conversations because you wonder sometimes when you're doing these live streams and you're talking to people if they really resonating and whatnot. You want it to be more like a dialogue. You don't want it to just be you talking at the screen. Remember, my aunt said she's like, "Oh, you're online talking to yourself." I was like, "I love you, auntie." Oh my God, that's not the case, but that's what they see sometimes. You're looking at a screen, talking to a screen, so they're like, "Ah, why is this man talking to himself?" But I'm not. I'm talking to you folks. Anyway, I digress from that situation. But like I was saying, the whole self-fulfilling things. Yeah, you know how it is, Iron Firehouse. Because if you go into a room and you see somebody talking to a screen, it's hard to convince somebody that you're not just talking to yourself on the screen, like a video diary, a confession. You see yourself. It's like, it started all, on a Wednesday and it was rainy and I was feeling hungry and horny at the same time. Nothing like that. But what's going on, Cargo Sparrow? Thank you, Cargo Sparrow. I was just talking about the self fulfilling prophecy, be it negative self talk, be it positive self talk. If that's something. What's going on, Texas? Little Star, Texas. There you go, 63. Hopefully everything is well on your side. Thank you for coming through. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts, any comments, any questions, any criticism, on negative self talk, on positive self talk, how things affect you, the thoughts that come into your mind, the things that transpire as far as how you, basically deal, the things that we have to come to life. Sometimes we're our own worst enemies, sometimes we're our own best friends, me, myself, and I, found out I got to be my own best friend. My little Beyonce on right quick. But yes, definitely cheers to the ladies for coming through. Thank you, Cargo Sparrow, Texas Little Star. Shout out to Granny Monster. I know Granny Monster is somewhere in the cut. Always appreciate the ever faithful Granny Monster, wherever she may be. Hopefully everything is good on your side, TX. Cheers. Cheers, though. I thought about you earlier. Oh, there's just lots of things. How's everyone? Well, yeah, I heard about it. I didn't want to throw it out there, but I heard some things was going on. But stay strong out there. I wish you the best. Hopefully, you overcome that situation. Stay positive. Hopefully, yeah, stay positive. Stay strong. You love the name Cargo. Well, I think she loves the names too. Yes. Back to dishes. Yeah, washing dishes can be therapeutic. I'm creating new words. You know, yeah, yeah. I hope she's okay too, Tex. But washing dishes can be therapeutic. Um, it can. People go through a lot of different things, and also too. Again, I can't say enough about you folks being here, and I appreciate you folks for coming through. Why am I talking about the self-fulfilling prophecy? Why is this important for me to say right now, here, in the here and now? Because sometimes we have negative things that creep through our mind. We have thoughts about stuff that may not go our way. We get discouraged. We have down moments, and sometimes the thoughts that we have in our mind, the influences of those thoughts fester and they change our habits. They discourage us. They stop us from reaching our full potential. On the flip side, though, the same process, talking to yourself and encouragement and being motivated and having positive affirmations on the wall, those things help too. It's about having a balance. You don't want to have negative, but you don't want to be overly positive and everything is sunshine and rainbows and fake positivity. So you try to be even kill, even balanced, look being realistic and seeing life as it is, being open minded, praying for strength to deal with it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, wherever it may come from, however it may come. And that's why I'm talking about this tonight, because I know I'm not the only one that deals with that. I'm not the only one that has situations where sometimes you may need a little bit of encouragement. Sometimes, you may be your own worst enemy. Sometimes you may destroy yourself and tear yourself down. My body stops me from reaching my full potential. It's okay to get down as long as we don't stay down. Well, actually, depends on the situation. And my gut brain is fast as that. Yeah, well, Cargo Sparrow, you know, before you got to the second half of that, I was like, oh wow, it's going there, and I couldn't stop reading. But that is a true statement. Sometimes even when you're down, you stay up. But we're gonna leave that alone. Yeah. So, but that's true though. As long as you don't stay down, and people don't understand, a lot of that comes from how you perceive the world and how you allow things to affect you and your emotions and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe you caught that. I don't know if you caught that, but it's all good. So, I mean, it's good to stay up for certain situations. Like I said, you don't want to, you don't want to be limp, but oh my God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. No crutches, but anyway, let me get my mind, straight. This is a family live stream. It's a family live stream. It's a family place. Let me see. This is Mel Disney right now. But yeah, you got to be careful because it's easy to see the negativity, and I'm focusing on negative because the negative is always prevalent in the situation, or always the popular thing that people face. It's it's important to know when that stuff is seeping into your mind and to try to combat it with the positive, or with friends and family that understand you, or being in a space sometimes when you need to step back and see the bigger picture. Mel Disney. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, 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 yeah. I had to Mel Disney. You know what I'm saying? This is a PG-13 live stream. Yes, believe it or not. Welcome to the late shift. Yeah. So there we go. Thank you, folks, for being here. Thank you, folks, for being here. It's interesting trying to hold an audience, but I'm glad that you came by. I'll get down, and then I get angry, and then take action. I get like that sometimes too. I Firehouse. Sometimes you just get to a point where you get frustrated because maybe you're not living up to your full potential. Maybe you got into a couple of bad habits and you had a bad week or so, or maybe you ate too much, maybe you didn't exercise enough, maybe you watched too many adult movies or whatever it is that you do, or maybe you were just around a bunch of negative people, whatever it is. Maybe you just were just angry and unproductive, and you got to find yourself and say, all right, look, let me stop playing games and get myself together. Let me pick myself up out of the gutter. Let me not be on a pity pot. This is a live stream I did, last month sometime. The anger helps take the pain away for a bit. Yeah, the anger can help to take the pain away for a little bit. But if you don't have anything to be in place of the anger, if you don't have anything to calm you down or come down for it, then you're just angry with problems. And as a black man in society, I want to tell you, it's no good being angry with a whole bunch of problems. So you try to get yourself into a vein, into a spot, into a space where you could come down off of that anger, off of that high, off of that frustration, because stress comes from anger a lot of times, and stress is a killer. Stress can give you high blood pressure, and hypertension. It could put you in a mood where you worry, and you're constantly, just not healthy, not rested. They say there's no rest for the weary. As it is written. And that means you're just constantly not satisfied. You're out there looking for different solutions after you found the solution. Somebody says, "Oh, only if I had $1 million." They give you $1 million, and then you say, "Oh, if I only had 1 million more," and then you get 2 million more, and you're still not satisfied. I'll be trying to do something like bring 10 bags of soil, and my back hurts, so I can't do it, and then I get mad, and then I do it. Well, hey, listen, that's one way to do it. Then I feel good. Then I accomplished it. Well, you're fighting through the pain. You're pushing through. Just don't hurt yourself in the process, because when my back hurts, it's usually I'm putting in that work. But anyway, that's another story. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can be like that sometimes. Sometimes you can take the negative and turn it into a positive if you know how to do that. You know, having it busted backwards, because I really can't do everything. It gets like that sometimes. Sometimes I stress before there's even stress to stress about, but I always push through. That was poetic, Cargo Sparrow. He says, sometimes I stress before there's even stress to stress about. Wow, that was poetic. But I appreciate you for sharing that. It's kind of crazy like that. Sometimes, there's a constant state of worry. There's a constant, like discouragement or something coming on, saying, well, will I ever achieve? Or when is my ship coming in? Or, can things be better? What about this setback? Or why isn't things moving fast enough or as quick as I thought they was? And a lot of times it takes time to prepare for those situations, where we'll be definitely set up to do what we got to do. I was supposed to get $1,000 check. The government is trying to save money, so he's talking money. Sorry to hear that. I Firehouse. Definitely sorry to hear that. hold strong, hold tight. Don't get crazy out there. Yeah, sure. I can use $1,000 right myself right now. But like I said, you try to be grateful for what you have and not, overthink things and double worry and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy like that. So now I have a car and the government will have to pay for me to get to the doctor for my appointments. Now, it's going to cost a fortune. Yeah, there could be fools. That's definitely difficult for sure. Sorry you have to go through that iron firehouse. But as long as you get to your appointments, do what you got to do. I mean, listen. It's like Cargo was saying earlier. It's okay to be down. You know, it's okay to have things happen, but as long as you don't stay down. And on the flip side, I say that it's okay to be confident in yourself. It's okay to push yourself to glory and victory and accomplishing goals, but don't get overconfident. Don't get prideful about things that you may have accomplished because just because one day was good and one day was great doesn't mean the next one will. Just because you did everything right in one moment doesn't mean you won't screw it up the next. You try to be balanced with it. You try to just be even killed, knowing to take the good with the bad. It's like it's as they say, take the crookeds with the straights. It is what it is. I mean, not trying to say, okay, it's the end of the world. Some people, if they have a bad day, they wind up having a bad week, and a bad month, and a bad year, and a bad life. And it's like, don't do that to yourself. I'm a cool as a cucumber, even in dire, crazy situations. That's what's up. I mean, some people could be cool under pressure. I mean, they call me like the other side of the pillow. Cool as the other side of the pillow. So I relate to that. I'm so cool. I got a fan on me, and I'm giving the fan air. So I understand that. I gotta make the fan cool. But that's just what that is. Thank you for the 9 people that are here right now. I appreciate that though. Thank you for coming through to the live stream. Welcome to the late shift. Just talking about the self-fulfilling prophecy, and for those that may not understand that or may not get into that is the difference between negative and positive self-talk, and how those things may cause different habits, and those habits may create different outcomes in our lives, be it a negative outcome, be it a positive outcome, from things that are not yet but perceived in our mind, and then basically are as far as different situations go. The thing is, I probably won't even pick up the phone to call a cab to get to the doctor. Well, you should if you need to. Iron Firehouse. As long as you get to the doctor and do what you got to do. That's what's up. I appreciate that. Thank you for the folks that are in and out. I've seen some people coming in and out. Thank you for the people that are lurking. Deadhead, it's been a while. Be right back, Carlos Sparrow. Appreciate it. Nothing wrong with that. Just glad that you're here. Thank you. Grateful for all those particular situations. How that works out. Welcome to the late shift for those people that came through. This is just me right now doing the late night live stream talk discussion and stuff like that. Also, too, I say to those folks out there, there may be something that you want to talk about. I don't know. It's cool and he ain't no fool. Thank you. I appreciate that, Yas Poet. Shout out to you out there, my Kentucky brother. Keep doing what you got to do. Hopefully, things are going well for you. Hopefully, situations are going your way. And if they're not, don't beat yourself down. Don't become victim to the self fulfilling prophecy from a negative standpoint. Yeah, salute to Iron, salute to you as well, Deadhead. Thank you for coming through. I've had to be, yeah, nah, definitely. Iron Firehouse. Stay strong, stay up, do what you got to do, keep it moving, make it happen. That's just really what it is with that. I don't know. I don't know. It's just really a situation where it's something that comes from within. I just think it sucks that you're taking one depends way over $1,000 going to cost $10,000 to make no sense. Yeah, it is, but sometimes that's the bureaucracy. That is the government. Regardless of what country you're in and how that transpires. Iron Firehouse. But whatever you do, stay strong in that situation. Don't give up. Keep pressing on. Keep pushing. And keep going on to where you need to go from there. As long as you don't give up, as long as your discouragement doesn't turn into a situation where you're taking yourself out of what you need to do. So I'm right to them to tell them. Yeah. No, I mean, listen. Sometimes you gotta express your emotions. You gotta let it be known. As long as you don't take it in any negative direction. That's just really what that is. Definitely. Thank you for the people that came through. Maria, appreciate you, Maria. Hello to you. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 5 people that are here in the chat. Discuss I am with them. I mean, yeah, no. I get it. I get it. I Firehouse. I get it. I get it. Typos. Everything like that happens. Like number 7. I appreciate that. Thank you for the like number 7. Maria, we just talking about the self-fulfilling prophecy, negative self-talk versus positive self-talk. But let me spend some time to talk about the positive self-talk because I talked about the negative. So when it comes to positive affirmations, just like negatively, you can talk yourself out of, a great situation. Positively, you can talk yourself into a good situation. You can, motivate and inspire and be inspired by others' examples and be around positive people that encourage you and lift you up. Yeah, no, no, no. It's all good. It's all good, Cargo. It's all good. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being around. Thank you for being down. I was just talking about the positive side. Each trip to the doctor costs 190 by taxi. Whoa, that's a lot of money. A lot of money. Put that 190 in somebody's pocket, but it is what it is. As long as you get there, you know. But the other side of the self fulfilling prophecy, the positive, like I said, there's ways to encourage yourself and be uplifted and say, hey, you know what? I know situations are dire. I know circumstances, be it as they may not seem too great. That's funny. I don't think she was talking about the flaky that you were thinking about Iron Firehouse, but that's what it is. But yeah, the cabs are insanely expensive. Yes, they are. But then there's Uber and Lyft and whatever else is going to come out there in the future later. So yeah, there's some things coming. Stay tuned. You know, um, but like I was saying, the positive side of the self-fulfilling prophecy is that you can get yourself out of a funk by putting yourself around positive people, having positive affirmations, on the wall, or reminding yourself, or just watching inspirational stuff, or doing things to meditate, to pray. Put yourself in a space where, you know what, hey, you can get out of a funk. Because a lot of it starts in the mind. It's a battle for the mind, versus the negative and the positive. As it is written, they say we war not against flesh or blood, but against principalities. And those principles in your mind will form habits, be it positive or negative. A lot of times people don't understand. Sometimes they may fail at things or not win at things as they should because they took yourself out of it mentally. I don't know if you've seen people who are sports players sometimes, whether they're playing basketball or baseball or hockey, and they go up against an opponent, and before the game even started, they're already out of it mentally, and they don't have the outcome to get the win that they could, but they could have been more talented. Sometimes you go up against people in situations that you could have overcome, and you were more talented than, and you'll take yourself out of a situation mentally. Just like you can give yourself mental toughness and put yourself back into a situation. And I'm definitely a big proponent of mental toughness, of the dexterity to say, hey, regardless of my situation, I can definitely, overcome this. I can definitely be more than what they're saying, about a particular situation, or whatever the obstacles are, I'm willing to face those obstacles. And I see y'all going about the $1,000 things. Yes, I totally agree. Your attitude can change any situation by being positive. Yes. But I also say with being positive, it's about being realistic as well. I'm not telling people just to be positive when the world is going to hell. It's just, as a situation. Oh, okay. You're talking to Iron Firehouse. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, have another conversation. That's what's up. Yeah, no, I mean it's important to be positive. Think positive about different situations and put it in a particular category, a certain vein and whatnot. Just about being realistic and whatnot. I mean, I didn't know they get. Okay, okay, okay. That's cool, Cargo. I don't know if you was talking to me, if you was talking to Iron Firehouse, but we're still here. I'm still focused. I'm still on there. I try not to ignore folks in the chat, but at the same time, I know folks are having different conversations in the chat, and I encourage that. I encourage people to speak to each other, whether they're in the shadows or not. It's all good. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming through. All that stuff. I'm not leaving just yet, but this is the whole thing. And I know people coming in and out, and I thank you for the people, even though you're lurking, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Lulu, appreciate you, Lulu. Love you. Thank you. That cat video, the Sphinx cat video, was definitely very interesting that you shared in the chat or whatever. But as you know, Lulu, I'm here talking about the self fulfilling prophecy, and I was talking about the positive side of that because you talk about the negative side too. How people's thoughts and stuff like that may affect how their habits are and different outcomes and things that they may go through. Sometimes you put yourself in a situation mentally. Sometimes you take yourself out of a situation mentally. Be it you're going through some kind of thing, trying to overcome different obstacles and stuff like that. So, that's what it is. And sometimes myself, I face that. If I'm not into something mentally, be it with work or, with just different life things, it can really hurt me because now I'm in a situation where I'm not as focused. I'm not as confident, or maybe I may not believe in what I'm trying to do because an outcome or something may have happened that, was unfavorable to me. And I've been there before. Um, yeah, no, have a best night, Maria. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Um, much love to you. Much love to you. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Even minute, second, hour, whatever it may be. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I was saying, sometimes it's a situation where we just take ourselves out of a situation mentally, and I tell people not to. It's important not to. I didn't know this had a power surge on it. That's interesting. Um, that's crazy. Sorry about that. I got a little distracted right quick. I was looking at one of my plugs. Yeah, that is my home. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I just got a little distracted. Making sure my fan is good. So just in case it got a power surge, it doesn't catch a fire for the plug. So I'm there. I'm there back and forth with that. But back to what I was saying. Like I said, a lot of times people can take themselves out of a situation mentally because of how it may seem or what outcome may have happened before. Maybe you had a bad experience before in a particular situation, and now you're thinking that things may be the same. I did a poem way back, saying how no 2 days are the same. One day could definitely be totally different from the next. It depends on you and what you want to do with it. Yeah. Oh my God. Guess what? Me too. No. What are you talking about, Cargo? What are you saying? You too. I was lost. I was lost because I knew you were having a different conversation. I know you came back to me too. But I don't know if you're talking about the mental side of it, but if you're talking about the mental side of it, sometimes I could take myself out of a situation because of a different outcome. Things may not have went my way, or let's say I go to a live stream, I can I can do the self fulfilling prophecy as it pertains to a live stream. Let's say yours truly, Mel does the late shift or whatever live stream, and I'm there on the live stream, and there's nobody there, or there's one person there, or I got 15 seconds of watch time, which has happened. I've gotten live streams in the same month where I had 15 seconds and 16 seconds of live stream time. Now, I can take the self fulfilling prophecy on a negative stretch and say, you know, hey, that's who I am, and it won't work out. You said I'm here, I'm here, I'm saying I'm here. I was just being silly. Oh, nothing wrong with being silly. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. I'm here, you're here, we're here. Love. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I was saying that, but that thing, I guess, with the self fulfilling prophecy is important. How you take it, what you see from it, where it's going and whatnot. What's going on, and I guess if you even kill or whatnot, knowing that any situation, however it goes, is not a guaranteed outcome. The next day, the next time in that particular situation, things can change and stop on a dime and pick up business, and things can go back the way it needs to go and whatnot. If I'm making any sense at all. Hopefully, I'm making sense to you. I know sometimes you're repeating yourself, in these live streams, and I've done a lot of repeating and stuff like that, But it's important to, like I said, to try to see things for what they are and not beat yourself down too much, And I try not to beat myself down with whatever I'm doing and whatnot, just seeing it for what it is, And I just know that you have good days, you have bad days, you have good situations, you have bad situations. Try not to be. Yeah, thank you, Pargo. I appreciate that because sometimes when you're here on these live streams and you're talking and you're doing stuff and you're going back and forth, you wonder. You definitely wonder, and sometimes you have to constantly encourage yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader, your own like inspirational section. You have to make sure that you're not going deep down into a state of depression and staying there because there's nothing wrong with feeling depressed or being depressed or being in a funk or whatever. It's just as long as you don't stay there, as long as you keep fighting and pulling yourself up and saying, hey, there are ways and there's things that I can do to get myself to where I need to be because I've had friends and stuff like that who've come to me and they've talked about being depressed and they talked about going through things. And it's important to be around people, who support you, who encourage you, who will cause you not to tear yourself down. Don't make sense. Like I fumble my words. And then, well, you don't fumble your words as much as you may think, Cargo. You're very clear. You're very concise. And, you got good energy. Believe me, I can hear you a lot more clearly. Some live streams, you have to knock on the screen and tell them, hey, maybe you need to turn the volume up or whatever the case may be. But that's just what it is. But I definitely know a thing or two about self-fulfilling prophecy and how it affects you negatively or positively in any particular situation. Because it's important to be around people who are gonna lift you up, and build you up and not tear you down and whatnot. It's important to be around people who will encourage you and try to give you good advice and realistic advice, and not just tell you what you want to hear. And not just say, hey, I don't want a whole bunch of yes women or yes men around you. So it comes with that. It comes with wanting to see things as they are. And thank you to the people that are coming in and out of the live stream. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you for the people lurking in the background. Thank you. I appreciate it for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it may be, the average watch time, stuff like that. Thank you. I'm definitely very appreciative to that. But in life, it's just really important to know your own worth as well, to know that one particular situation or outcome doesn't define you, and sometimes we let negative or positive outcomes define who we are and the whole scope of our life or the whole scope of our day. It can become a situation where you're sitting there worried about a particular thing that somebody said, or how you came off in a particular conversation, or something that you did at work or something you did with your family. There's insecurities that can arise from negative outcomes and things that can happen and stuff that can seep into our mind, that, begin to say to us, hey, well, maybe it'll never work out, or maybe it'll never go the way that it should. And that's not the case. Like I said, you know your value, you know your worth if you're willing to see it for what it is. And I definitely encourage people to be around folks, that are going to push them and challenge them and be there for them as friends. I mean, because there's nothing worse than somebody who has negative self-talk, or you know, um, putting themselves in a crazy way, and people that don't at least try to encourage folks or try to pull them up. And then there's some people that discourage you. There's some people that make fun of you and ridicule you, and you try to separate yourself and move away from that. Try to be with folks that's going to be realistic with you, but at the same time, it's constructive criticism. People that not are going to feed your ego, but at the same time will let you know, hey, maybe you slipped a little bit here. This was cool. Can you help me and all that stuff. Lulu says, I walk away from nonsense, and sometimes, hey, welcome back, TX. I walk away from nonsense, and sometimes I need to walk away from the surroundings. It takes very little to be nice to someone, regardless of what age they are. Ain't nobody got time for that. I hear that. I definitely hear that, Lulu. I mean, it it comes into that, but sometimes the important thing with that, Lulu, what you're saying, and I definitely agree with it. Sometimes when you're in a surrounding, in a situation, depending on how close you are to a person and what's going on, sometimes you can take on that negativity. Sometimes you can bring that energy into your space, depending on what it is, and it can become a part of a self-fulfilling prophecy that's negative for you, something that's got you in a downward spiral, and you may not even know why. You know, like they say, bad association spoils useful habits. So that's something you want to watch out too. Cargo Sparrow says definitely, yeah, definitely respect someone being honest, for sure, but it's all in the delivery of the message. Yeah, I agree with you on that too. That's why I said constructive criticism. Hey, my net sucks here. Dropping a like. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Always appreciative to you. Shout out to Lynn. Shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Sparrow, Texas Little Star. Shout out to people lurking in the background. Appreciate you for joining the late shift. But yeah, definitely, Lulu. I can definitely see where you're coming from. Being a part of negative surroundings and letting that influence hit you, can be definitely a strain. Sometimes you have to walk away from that. I'm gonna take him. My nightly meds watching you. Nah, it's all good. Appreciate you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you for joining the late shift live stream. It's just what it is. It's a challenge to go to the whole hour, but you find ways and things to extend it. And I encourage you folks in the chat, which helps me extend the live stream and respond to more is when you have, beautiful comments like Cargo Sparrow and Lulu Love you had. I mean, if you have anything that you want to say, definitely. Lynn, thank you for being here as well. Dakota and family, thank you for as being here for this live stream. I actually know somebody named Dakota, a dude, but we ain't gonna get into all that. But shout out to that man. Um, but like I said, if you got anything you want to add to the conversation, definitely add to the conversation. If you got any comments, any questions, any criticisms, any disagreements, yo, just us hamburgers. What's going on? It's been a little minute since I seen you, heard of you, but you're here. But like I said, if anybody has anything to say, anything they want to add to the conversation, definitely that helps me, extend the live stream a little bit. Just I'm interested in how you feel. I mean, I'm interested in how you folks feel about the self-fulfilling prophecy, about how, positive or negative self-talk, just came home from New York, New Jersey. Well, thank you for being in the city. Hopefully, the city was nice to you. Hopefully it was good to you. Hopefully, it was to your liking and whatnot, So that's just what it is. And the beautiful Kansas has arrived. Yeah, that's what it is. Hugs and kisses. From Linden. So it is what it is with that. City kicked my behind. Yeah, it probably did. It probably did. That's kind of funny. I took off this week myself, so I probably wasn't even really in the city too much. I went out there at the beginning of the week, like Saturday, and then I kind of just chilled and stayed in Brooklyn. But hopefully you enjoyed your time in New York and New Jersey. Thank you for coming here. Glad that it was an enjoyable experience to you. Or maybe not so much, but that's what it is. How's everybody else doing tonight? Let's just go through that. How's everybody else in the chat, in the crowd, in the background? You know, um, yeah, like Cargo said, I hope you're having a good night. Something I hope. Like I said, you just listening to the sounds of me doing it. Got burned at FTR, Beach, Staten Island, Sunburn. Well, sunburn is good. Sunburn is good sometimes. I mean, not too much though. Like I said, you black, you don't want to get too, you don't want to get crispy out there. But as long as you got a, good time out in Staten Island and whatnot. And it's been so long since I've been out to Staten Island. Got to catch that ferry and stuff like that. Those are great photos. Hopefully, you took a lot of shots and shared stuff on social media and interacted with the people. You know, but that's good. That's good. Definitely. I'm bored. My net sucks, so it's frustrating. Well, it gets like that sometimes. I guess that's why you're here. Yeah, yeah, it's a good place to go. Good place to go, Cargo. One of these days you'll get out to Staten Island. Staten Island's a beautiful place. Definitely a beautiful place. It's just crazy expensive. I just uploaded some vids. That's what's up. I got to check out those vids. It is crazy expensive here in New York City. But like I said, survival of the fittest out here. Otherwise, continue to heal and sounding good today. That's what's up, Lulu. I'm glad she's good. I'm glad she's doing better. And I had a great time overall. Well, listen, I hope you had a great time. Even though the city is busy, it's a lot going on. So like I said, hopefully you didn't spend your life savings out here trying to have a good time. But New York is expensive. I'm glad that you got some New York sunburn on. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Stories to tell. Definitely stories to tell. And Lulu, glad your daughter is feeling better, healing up, sounding better. That's different, cool. Yeah, the traffic jam is crazy. Creative redundancy. Appreciate you. Hello, and side chat can't stay long, but came by to support. Listen, no matter how long you come by to support, be it a second, be it a minute, be it an hour, be it a millisecond or half a second, I appreciate it. You need to go back to the Disney store in NYC and the M&M store. I don't know if they have the Disney store still in NYC. I gotta check that again because I know which one you were talking about. I used to work. Well, no, I worked from where it used to be. It used to be on Fifth Avenue. I think they moved it. I gotta check. I don't know if they still got the Disney store, but in the same spot. It's probably out here, but it's what it is. The traffic jam ain't no joke. It's not for the faint of heart. Well, it's like that in New York. That's why they have the saying, just as Hamburg. They said, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And the reason they say that about New York City is because there's so much going on. New York, big city of dreams, because everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might be cool if you come from out of town, but gee, by golly, I know my way around uptown, downtown, all the way around. Yes. Yeah, but the traffic jam, it is what it is. Yeah, they do on the side of the street as the McDonald's in Times Square. Okay, cool, cool. You talking about over there? Because I remember there used to be one on Fifth Avenue. There used to be one on Fifth Avenue that a lot of people went to. I think they closed that down. That was years ago. Port Authority was dope in the little shops. I can't stand Port Authority. Take care, Lulu. Love you. Appreciate you for coming through. Always a pleasure. Done to see. The historic structures are dope. Yes, there's a lot of geometry here. Definitely a lot of geometry here. Geometric shapes, in the buildings and stuff like that. Squares and shapes and triangles. I stand it. You talking to me or you talking to somebody else? Um, I can stand it. I don't know what we're talking about though. Ah, oh my god! Oh my god! Port Authority. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Port Authority. Why don't I like Port Authority? It's too busy. I guess too many bad memories there. Too many bad memories in Port Authority. Like I said, just yeah, yeah. It's too many bad memories over there. Yeah, not the place for me. Just a little too busy, a little too dirty for me over there. But I appreciate people coming through. Hopefully, folks are safe. I just never got good vibes from Port Authority. But whatever. That's just my personal thing. So, but like I said, go through there. You do what you got to do. Be safe. Just watch out for the tourism traps and all that stuff. Don't spend too much of your money. It's just yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's just what that is. As I'm about to wind down this whole thing. Much love to you, Harmony. Sorry if I got a little sidetracked. The only thing I didn't like was the customer service because it was trash and it got me lost in New Jersey. Well, New Jersey, I can't really speak too much about. New Jersey is New Jersey. New York is New York. New York, New Jersey. We have a relationship, brother sister relationship. Some people say New York wants to be New Jersey and New Jersey wants to be New York. So that's just what it is. Hey, that's good to know. Harmony, thank you. I'm glad that everything's good with you. All good. Just making the best of it and whatnot. Just, I'm coming to the end of the live stream and whatnot. Just trying to make it to that hour, get to that hour stretch, and then skedaddle and go along the ways. But what we were talking about here, harmony. Before we got off to other things, we're just talking about the self fulfilling prophecy, the effects of positive self talk and negative self talk, how they affect people. And it's just me making my attempt to, give my point of view on that. Had me take the 192 and not the 199, shake my head, your girl was pissed. I imagine you were. I imagine you were. Things are expensive going back and forth. You seems like you was all over. You was in Staten Island, you was in New Jersey, like I said, you was probably all kind of different places. Sound like you were in Midtown because you was by Port Authority, basically. You were in Midtown over there. It's busy over there in Times Square. Very busy. And I tell people going to Times Square, you want to watch out what you're doing. Don't get caught in no tourist traps. And that's just what it is. Yeah, no, I'm almost done. I'm almost done creative redundancy. So by the hour mark hits, just a little bit over an hour, I'm out. So I got to do the hour and 1 minute thing just to make sure, YouTube gives me my hour time, watch time. And I appreciate you folks for coming through, just being supportive. I dug Hoboken and Pier 13, super nice. Pier 13 is dope. Hoboken is dope. I'm saying it the wrong way, Hoboken, but, it's all good. I'll probably, not pronouncing one letter or word, something like that, as I should. The males, they are aggressive. Yes, I imagine. Yes, Spider Man tried to grab money out of my wallet. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that, Cargo. But Spider Man and Iron Man, the Avengers, can be a little bit aggressive out on the streets of New York. they're the they're the zombie Avengers or the I don't know. I had so many other words that I could use, but I don't want to offend anybody. Like I said, these are the evil Avengers, the alternate universe. Like I said, I tell anybody if you come to New York and you see somebody dressed in like an Elmo or a Disney character or whatever, a Marvel character, buyer beware because they'll come up to you and ask you to take pictures, right? And as they're asking you to take pictures, they're holding your hand and you thinking it's a family fun moment, and then all you hear is $5, $20, $10. And you thinking, Tickle Me Elmo was so cool. And you got to see Bert and Ernie and Then all of a sudden you start looking and like, nah, this ain't looking right. This ain't looking right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. I had to be super straight up, no chaser, no filter. Yeah, you got to be like that sometime in New York. You can't, get crazy. You can't like, pull no punches. Be like, nah, because of hood mode. Now, sometimes you have to do that way, just especially you married woman. So, you gotta let them know you got a ring on it. You won't have to, get your scrap on and whatnot. Just kidding, kinda. Listen, no, I tell you, as a woman out here in New York, sometimes you gotta be straightforward. Look, no, I'm good. Especially if you're coming from out of town. You see somebody coming up on you the wrong way, you gotta ask them, "Can I help you, please?" That's when it's time to, let them know, look, I need my space. But for the most part, a lot of times you got, respectable people and stuff like that out in New York and whatnot, depending on what you're doing, where you're going, how you're presenting yourself, what situation you're in and whatnot. Try not to put yourself in any compromising positions and whatnot, but also to be wary of crowds and stuff like that. Fast talking, bros, tapping folks. Yeah, yeah. Also be careful. Like I said, when people, what the thing I can't understand in 2018, which makes me laugh always, is when you have certain people who are rappers or entertainers. They're coming up to you with a CD. It's like, hey, here's my CD. Listen to my CD. You want to pay $5, $10, $20 for my CD? And I'm thinking to myself every time they walk up with somebody on CD. First, you already know it's a scam, but secondly, we live in an age where you got MP3s and streaming services and USBs and all this other kind of stuff. You're supposed to walk up with the laptop and get them to listen to the laptop and try to get them to the website. You still trying to get them to go home and get the CD. So what is the scenario when they take the CD, if they buy the CD and they go home and then, what happens if there's no music on it? Or, what happens when you get home and you got nothing to play it on? So it's like that. Like I said, a person who keeps popping up and you talk and they talk and I don't like pay attention, fam. Yeah, no, it is like that. It is like that. It's like that. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy. You just got to be careful when you're walking around and you hear different things and stuff is going on. But buy my mixtape. Yeah, you know how this creative redundancy. Like buy my mixtape. What? You should be saying at least go to my SoundCloud. Go to my SoundCloud or buy my merch or something like that. As far as how that goes. So I mean, buying my mixtape. Like, buying a mixtape. I think it's time to go home and listen to a mixtape. If I go home and listen to a tape or something like that, I probably listen to some Stevie Wonder. I got Ski Slapper my baby. That's funny. That's funny. Oh my God. Rumble, Rumble at Mel Mel's. Nah. No Rumble, no Rumble. So, you must have heard this stuff fell. Oh, I didn't know you heard the thing fall. There was something that fell off the iron board out there. I'm not going to get it. Like I said, ain't nobody breaking in the house, so I'm not worried about that. It's all cool. I didn't even know you heard that. You got a good ear. You got definitely got a good ear. They hit you when you push up and over when you laugh too. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I didn't even know you heard that. Wow, you got a great ear, Cargo. I'm surprised. I'm glad nobody's doing nothing crazy in the next room. But oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. Um, I don't know where to go with that. And as I'm approaching the end of this, yeah, I'm trying to give it the time. See, because I'm talking to you, but I'm watching the clock too, and that gets annoying sometimes. But you got to watch it, especially for this watch time and whatnot. That's just what it is. And it definitely has been a dope conversation, and I appreciate folks for coming through and just being here and supporting and whatnot. I know how crazy it can be sometimes trying to support everybody. I'm hear everything. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, Cargo. You can definitely hear everything. Now, I would impress you. You'll be impressed if you can actually hear what's going on outside of the block around the corner. So that'd be interesting. Why is the trash just put on the sidewalks? It's a New York thing. Pollution is a way of life. Littering is a birthright here in New York City. So I hate to say it. I hate to say it. You got to be careful with the litter. Unfortunately, people it used to be worse than what it was. Worse than what it is. So um, yeah, it's just the way of life I Hamburgs. I don't agree with it, but it happens. Just people who are prone to litter. that's just the way it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you kind of gotta work through your way with that, and that's crazy. Going to get some food in here. Take care. Thank you, Creative Redundancy. I appreciate you being here with me for the hour. And that is the cue. That is the signal. That is just about time for me to go. And I appreciate you for the watch time. Thank you, Cargo. Thank you, Justice Hambricks. Thank you, Creative Redundancy. Thank you, Rule Love You. Thank you, Lynn Denton. Thank you, Deadhead. Thank you, Iron Firehouse. Thank you to anybody else who was lurking in the background. The bat signal, yes. I don't know what signal that would be. The M, that mel signal, or whatever the case, the bat signal. There you go. You have a good night too, Cargo. I appreciate you. And that was a good video that you did. That was a good video. I like that video. It's a small world after all. It gets bigger as you come on YouTube. Hugs and squishes to you as well. And hashtag sorry, not sorry. But take care. And as always, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Decent live stream. Yeah. Tony is